Hello everyone, welcome back to your Eleanor. In this video we are going to explain new Japanese BL Countdown to Yes episode number 2. After Minato offered for them to live together, Wataru was clearly shocked. He even drifted into a daze. Minato snapped Wataru out of his thoughts. According to Wataru, if they had to live together again like before, he did not want to. Minato asked for the reason. Wataru said there was no reason at all. Minato tried to plead with Wataru, but Wataru stared sharply at Minato as a sign of refusal. Minato said that Wataru did not need to look at him like that. Minato understood and said that he would invite Wataru to go together again next time. But Wataru said there would be no next time, and immediately left. At home, Wataru thought deeply about Minato's offer. At first, he smiled while imagining it. But he quickly came back to his senses and tried to calm himself. Meanwhile, Minato arrived at his grandparents' house and smiled when he saw them. Minato went inside, but his grandfather said that his grandmother had already fallen asleep, so they should not be too noisy. His grandfather asked what Minato used to take photos. Minato replied that it was still the same, that he was using the camera his grandfather had given him. He was even still using the old lens. Knowing this, his grandfather assumed that Minato really loved the camera he had given him. Minato smiled and recalled his school days. On September 16, 2015, Minato asked what settings he should adjust on his camera. Wataru explained that the blurred result was actually the unique charm of an old lens. It was not perfect, but it felt warm. That was why Wataru really liked Minato's photos. Hearing that and seeing Wataru's smile, Minato blushed. However, Wataru thought that Minato was angry. Wataru reassured Minato and said that he liked the photos Minato took, because if he were the one taking them, the feeling would not be the same. And that was what made photography interesting. Wataru's friends waved their hands and invited him to go home together. Seeing Minato looking down, Wataru invited Minato to go with them. On the way home, Minato and Wataru took many photos together. Wataru asked when Minato started wanting to take photos. Minato replied that it was since he wanted to preserve these feelings. Then he asked about Wataru. For Wataru, he started taking photos because he did not want to forget something. Wataru wanted to take photos that, when we look at them, we can remember the sounds and the sense of that moment. Ebina and Fujisawa, who were friends of both of them, turned around and saw Minato smiling for the first time while being with Wataru. Kohei came carrying some juice and accidentally bumped into Ebina and Fujisawa. Seeing the three of them together, Wataru did not forget to take a photo of that moment. Minato smiled and praised Wataru, saying that he also liked Wataru's photos. When their three friends were playing at the beach, Minato and Wataru were of course taking photos as well. Their three friends started playing a word game. It was Minato's turn to do it, but Wataru said they should not drag Minato into the game. Even so, Minato still tried. On September 20, 2015, Minato and Wataru went to Mr. Yurihito's photo studio. Wataru really wished that his school had a darkroom. Wataru even showed Minato a film camera. He bought the camera with the New Year savings he had set aside. Even though it was second-hand, Minato had unintentionally influenced him. Mr. Yurihito came and gave them the photos they had taken. At the park, the two of them showed each other the photos that had been printed. For Wataru, the photos taken by Minato gave off a sense of nostalgia. As for Wataru's own photos, To Minato, the photos Wataru took made people want to remember them. The photos taken by Wataru were the kind that people wanted to keep close. Or in other words, photos that could be cherished. After that, while playing on the swings, they told each other that they liked the photos they had taken. Back in the present, Minato murmured to himself, wondering whether Wataru truly liked him. Minato's grandfather asked if he wanted to take another photo. Minato began taking pictures again. Wataru, who was in front of his computer, searched for the meaning of cohabitation. The internet answered that the term referred to living in the same house, especially for couples who live together. On the other hand, it could also refer to people such as family members or friends who live together without a romantic relationship. After finding that out, Wataru threw himself onto the bed. He tried to scream but held it back. Wataru turned his gaze to the handicraft Minato had made. He wondered what Minato was thinking. Maybe Minato was not thinking about anything at all. After all, that was Minato. That was because Minato was hard to understand. Wataru kept convincing himself that Minato was his friend. They were friends. While Wataru had calmed down a little, Kohei called him. Kohei asked if Wataru was free next Friday, because they were going to celebrate Minato's promotion. On September 12, 2025, Wataru asked his manager about promotions. Manager Yorihito explained that a promotion meant getting a higher position at work and being moved to a more important role. The manager asked why Wataru suddenly asked about that. Wataru said that there would be a promotion party for Minato that night. The manager, who remembered Minato, began praising him for working hard. Wataru asked again what was usually given to celebrate a promotion. The manager answered that the most basic thing was flowers. On August 12, 2021, Minato had just returned and brought flowers, giving them to Wataru. Minato said, "Marry me." Wataru smiled and asked what he meant. Minato explained that it was his first time ever giving flowers to someone. He was a little nervous. Minato congratulated Wataru on being selected. Wataru said thank you, but said it was only an honorary award. However, for Minato, it still had to be celebrated. Wataru told Minato to join a competition. Minato asked what Wataru's answer was to what he had said about marrying him. Wataru smiled and said that he would think about it. That night, Wataru went to a flower shop. He bought flowers and gave them to Minato, just like what Minato had done before. Wataru said, "Marry me." As usual, Minato blushed shyly. However, Wataru did not understand that sign, and instead thought that Minato was angry. He explained that the flowers were a gift for Minato's promotion, and that he was imitating what Minato had done before. Minato said thank you, and asked whether the flowers were considered an answer to what Wataru had said back then about thinking it over. Wataru did say that, but the two of them became awkward. On top of that, Fujisawa and Ebina arrived. Kohei did not want to lose out, and even acted as the mood maker. They clinked their drinks together to celebrate Minato's promotion. Kohei then asked how Minato managed to find the time, because just handling his routine work alone must have already been exhausting. Minato replied that after finishing his routine tasks, he worked on the project little by little with his senior. Ebina asked how long it took Minato to complete it. Minato said that, counting from when he first consulted about it, it had taken about half a year. Kohei stood up and praised Minato, saying he was really cool and amazing. Fujisawa agreed, because being able to do what he wanted at that workplace was truly rare. Ebona even prayed for the project to go smoothly. Compared to his three friends, for Minato, Wataru was the winner. Their friendship had indeed not changed. But Fujisawa said that among them, Kohei already had a family. Fujisawa had also recently started living with someone. Because it was time for them to think about future life plans. Wataru said that they were only 25 years old. Kohei said it was better for them to keep drinking. Because no matter what, they would still be able to hang out together. Wataru invited Minato to toast to their great friendship. But the expression Minato made was different. After everything ended, they began to part ways. There were Minato and Wataru together. Wataru said that everyone seemed very happy to see him. Wataru truly could not imagine Minato at work. Could he talk normally with other people? Minato said that he was good at reports and presentations, so it was fine. Even though he was not good at small talk. Wataru smiled, realizing that Minato could only chat casually with him. Minato nodded, because Wataru was special. Wataru asked where Minato would go back to tonight. Whether he would return to his parents' house again. Minato replied that he lived alone in Chigasaki. Because at this stage, he felt it would be too much to still live at home. Wataru was shocked and asked again. Wasn't Minato's company in Tokyo, and wasn't that far away? Calmly, Minato said that as long as he could commute to work, without having to change trains, he did not mind. Wataru murmured that this was why Minato had suggested living together. Minato added that rent in Tokyo was expensive and the air quality was not very good. Besides that, Minato also did not like being far away from Wataru again. Hearing that, Wataru tried to calm himself and his heart. He kept reminding himself that Minato was his friend. They were friends. That's all for the explanation of episode 2. It makes us even more curious about the next episode. Will Wataru finally soften and be willing to live together with Minato again? Let's wait for the next story in episode 3. Thank you for watching, and may you have a wonderful day.